Wait, why is she pulling away when you're giving her everything? Have you ever been lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling that tight knot in your chest, thinking, why is she acting different? You used to talk for hours. She used to smile at your texts. She used to light up when she saw you. But now, it feels like something's off. She's slower to reply. She's busy all the time. And you're wondering, did I mess up? Am I not enough? So you try harder. You call more. You compliment her more. You even change your plans just to see her smile again. But it doesn't work, does it? In fact, the more you try, the more distant she becomes, like she's slipping through your fingers. And no matter how tight you hold on, she's drifting further and further. Let me tell you something most men never figure out. It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're doing too much. Yeah, you heard that right. Sometimes giving her your whole world actually makes her lose interest. Crazy, huh? But let me break it down real simple. Imagine this. You go to your favorite restaurant, and they bring out your favorite dessert before you even ask. Then they bring another one, and another, and another. At first you're excited, but after a while, you're full. Then you're bored. Then you start to avoid that dessert you once loved. It's not because the dessert changed. It's because it was always there. Too easy, too much, too fast. Now think about yourself. You've been texting her all day. You drop everything when she calls. You try to prove you're the best guy. But what does she feel? She doesn't feel excited. She doesn't feel curious. She doesn't feel pulled toward you. Because you've given her everything. Before she even asked for it. And guess what? There's no mystery. No space. No magic. So what's the fix? It's not about playing games. It's not about being mean. It's not even about being alpha. It's about detachment. It's about having a full life outside of her. It's about building your world so strong she feels lucky just to be a part of it. Because when you're not chasing, when you're not proving, when you're just living with purpose, something crazy happens. She starts to chase you. Not because you begged, not because you tricked her, but because she feels something she hasn't felt in a long time. Intrigue, desire, emotional pull. And it all starts with one powerful shift. Let her feel your absence, so she can feel her own desire. Listen, if you're always chasing, always proving, always showing up before she even thinks about you, then you'll never give her a chance to want you. So stop asking, what more can I give her? Start asking, what have I given to myself? Because the man who doesn't need to chase is the one who always gets chased. Why being gone makes her want you back? Okay, let me ask you something wild. Have you ever missed someone so bad that even hearing their name made your heart skip? You kept checking your phone, even though you knew there was no message. You kept wondering, do they miss me too? Are they thinking of me right now? Now pause. Breathe. Flip the script. What if you were the one creating that feeling in her? What if you became the one who lives rent-free in her head? What if she starts checking her phone wondering why you haven't reached out. Sound impossible? It's not. Let's talk about something most guys are scared to do. Creating space. Not because you're mad, not because you're playing games, but because you've got a life to live, a mission, a purpose, things that light you up. Here's what happens when you do that. She starts to feel a little unsure, a little curious, a little nervous, in the best way. Wait, where is he? What's he doing? Why do I keep thinking about him? It's like your energy echoes inside her mind. And guess what? That space creates desire. That pause. That moment of silence. It speaks louder than 1,000 texts. See? When you're always available, always showing up, always trying to fill the silence, there's no time for her to feel anything. No time for her heart to miss you. No room for her emotions to grow. No air for the fire to breathe. Because you're always there. But when you step back, not out of fear, but out of focus on your own goals, something magical happens. Think of it like this. Imagine a song with no pauses, just noise, non-stop. No rhythm, no beat, no beauty. That's what constant attention feels like. But when there's space, when there's silence, every moment starts to matter. Every word becomes powerful. Every second she waits makes her want it more. So here's your secret weapon. Let her wonder. Not because you're ignoring her, but because you're busy being the man you were born to be. She'll feel it. She'll notice it. And trust me, she won't be able to stop thinking about you. If you're always in the room, she forgets how it feels when you're gone. But when you're living your life, focused, calm, detached, your absence becomes a whisper in her mind. A whisper that says, where is he? And why do I miss him so much? Now, get ready for page 3, where we unlock how real self-worth makes her emotionally invest deeper, without you needing to prove a single thing. The truth she'll never say out loud, but you must understand. Let me tell you something that no one wants to admit. She doesn't want to be your whole world. Wait, what? That sounds crazy, right? Isn't that what love is all about? Giving her your heart, your time, your everything? Nope, that's a trap. And it kills attraction faster than you think. Here's the truth. She wants to be part of a powerful man's world, not be his entire world. When a man makes her the center of his life, she feels it. At first it's cute, then it's clingy, and soon it's too much. She starts pulling away and you don't even know why. But I'll tell you why. Because there's no gravity in a man who orbits around her. She wants to be pulled into your orbit. The one that's already moving fast, full of life, purpose, direction. Let me give you a picture. Imagine you're a ship in the ocean. You've got your compass, your map, your mission. You're sailing with power and peace. She's standing on the dock watching you. Now guess what happens? She starts wanting to hop on that ship. She wants to be part of your journey because it looks exciting, strong, clear. But if you stop sailing and drop anchor just to stay next to her all day, she'll get bored, she'll look away, and you'll both sink. You must have something bigger than her. And I know that sounds harsh, But it's true love when a woman wants to walk with you, not carry you. She wants to be with a man who stands tall even when she walks away. A man who keeps going. A man who still shows up for himself. When she sees you living your purpose. When she sees you light up from something inside you. Not something she gave you. She falls for that. She feels safe with that. Because now she knows. This man doesn't need me to survive. But he chooses me. That's powerful. And guess what? That's when emotional investment begins. Not when you chase her. Not when you beg for time. But when she watches you stand so strong, so whole, that she wants to come closer. So here's your mission. Stop trying to be her everything. Be your own everything first. Let her see the fire in your eyes for your dreams, your goals, your purpose. Because the more she sees that, the more she wants to be part of it. And that's when she starts investing emotionally. Because you're not her toy or her puppy. You're the storm she wants to dance in. Why the man who's hard to reach stays on her mind the longest. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever wanted something more? Just because you couldn't have it right away? Think about it. That rare pair of shoes, that concert ticket that's sold out, that limited time offer that disappears in 5 minutes. What happens? Your heart starts racing. You get excited. You want it more. Just because it's not easy to get. Guess what? Your attention works the same way for her. Most guys are way too easy to get. Texting her every hour. Waiting on her replies like a puppy. Dropping everything just to see her. And then they wonder why she doesn't chase. Why she doesn't seem excited. Why she fades away. It's because there's no mystery. No space. No value. Now listen close. I'm not telling you to play games. That's weak. I'm telling you to live like your time is precious. Because it is. And when your time becomes rare, you become rare. And when you're rare, she starts thinking about you more. Wondering what you're doing. Missing you. Craving your presence. Because you're not always there. This is called scarcity. And it's powerful. When something is always available, it loses magic. But when something is limited, people line up for it. It's true for gold, true for diamonds, and 100% true for high-value men. You don't need to explain your worth. You don't need to convince her to choose you. You just need to be less available. Because you're already full with your own life, your dreams, your growth, your friends, your passions. When she feels like she has to earn your time, she values it so much more. And that's when something crazy happens. She starts chasing you, not because you pulled back, but because you didn't push too much. You let her feel your absence. You let her miss your energy. You let her wonder what's going on in your world. And suddenly, you're on her mind all day. So remember this. You are not a vending machine. She doesn't get your time just by pressing a button. You are a rare event, like a shooting star. And when she sees that, she doesn't want to lose you. Why calm men make the loudest impact on a woman's heart. Have you ever seen a man stay calm? Even when everything around him was going crazy? Like the world was on fire. And he just stood there, still strong, unshaken. People listen to that man. People respect that man. And women? They get pulled in like a magnet. Here's the truth most men never learn. Women are emotional creatures. Their world is full of feelings, moods, thoughts, and waves that go up and down every single day. That's not bad, but what they crave, more than anything, is a man who doesn't drown in those waves. A man who doesn't get dragged into every little drama. A man who can breathe, even when the air gets heavy. When she cries, you stay still. When she tests you, you don't shake. When she pulls away to see how you'll react, you don't panic, you don't chase, you don't explode. You just stand tall. That's emotional mastery. Not because you feel nothing, but because you know how to stay in control. You feel the emotions, but the emotions don't control you. And to a woman, that's not just attractive, it's irresistible. Most guys freak out the moment a girl pulls away. They start overthinking, blowing up her phone, trying to fix things fast. But the man who stays calm, the one who doesn't rush, beg, or break, she can't stop thinking about him. Because that kind of calmness, it tells her something deep. It says, I'm not afraid of losing you, because I've already found me. Whoa, read that again. I'm not afraid of losing you, because I've already found me. That's the kind of strength women dream of. That's the kind of presence that makes her feel safe, seen and drawn in. So don't try to match her storms with your own. Don't shout when she's loud. Don't chase when she's cold. Don't melt when she's confused. Be the rock. Be the lighthouse. Be the calm in the middle of her storm. And she'll never forget how you made her feel. Real confidence doesn't shout, it whispers power. Have you ever walked into a room and someone looked confident, but they weren't loud, they didn't show off, they didn't flex or brag, yet everyone noticed them? What is that? How does that even work? Let me tell you the secret. Real confidence doesn't need to prove anything because it already knows its worth. Most guys think confidence means being the loudest, the funniest, the flashiest guy in the room. They try to impress her with big muscles, fancy cars, expensive dinners. But here's the truth, she'll never tell you. If you need to prove your value, you don't really believe in it. And she can feel that, right through your words, through your actions, through the way your eyes dart around the room. But the man who is quietly confident, who doesn't need her attention to feel good about himself, who walks like he's got nothing to hide and nothing to prove, that man makes her curious. He makes her lean in. He makes her wonder, who is this guy? And that's when it starts. Her emotional investment begins with mystery, with respect, with the subtle, powerful feeling that you don't need her, but you're open to her. Confidence, real confidence, comes from doing the work. It's built by sticking to your purpose, keeping your promises, knowing your value even when no one's clapping, facing your fears and walking through them anyway. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You just need to know who you are, even in silence. And guess what? When you live that way, she feels it before you even say a word. She feels the quiet strength in your voice, the calm in your walk, the peace in your presence. And suddenly, she starts to feel lucky just to be part of your world. So stop trying to impress. Instead, become a man who impresses himself first. When you do that, she won't just notice, she'll remember you. and she'll want to stay close. We're going deep into the power of scarcity and why being less available isn't rude. It's actually the most magnetic thing you can do. The rarest thing always feels the most valuable. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted something more? Just because you couldn't have it all the time? Maybe it was a toy you only got to play with once a week, or that one snack your mom said you could only eat on special days. And suddenly, boom, it became your favorite thing ever? That is called scarcity. And guess what? It works the same way in relationships. Most guys think, if I give her more time, more attention, more love, she'll finally see how great I am. But you know what actually happens? She gets used to it. She gets comfortable. And then she starts to take you for granted. Not because she's evil, not because she doesn't care, but because you became too available. Here's the truth. When something is always there, it starts to feel ordinary. But when something is rare, even a small moment can feel special. So what happens when you become rare? When you're focused on your life, your goals, your mission, and you don't make yourself available 24/7? She feels your value go up. She doesn't just want you, she starts to miss you. And that's when emotional investment begins. This isn't about playing games. You're not trying to trick her. You're just living your life. You're building your castle. You're chasing your purpose. And guess what? You don't drop everything just because she sends a text. You don't cancel your workout or your business plan to have another cute call. Because you know this. Your time is valuable. And when a man treats his time like it matters, so does she. That's the power of scarcity. Not being cold, not being rude, just being a man with a life so full, so rich, so purposeful that your attention becomes a gift, not a given. And when she feels like she has to earn it, she doesn't just chase it, she cherishes it. If your mind is a storm, she'll run for shelter. But if you're the calm, she'll run to you. Let's play out a little scene. Imagine you're on a boat. The wind's crazy, the waves are crashing, the sky turns dark, and the ocean starts roaring like a monster. Would you want to be with someone who's screaming louder than the storm, running around in circles, panicking and shaking the boat even more? No way, right? You'd want the guy who stays calm, the one who says, "We've got this," the one who knows what to do, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. That guy becomes the anchor. And in relationships, you need to be that anchor. Here's the secret most guys miss. Women don't want a man who acts tough. They want a man who feels solid, not cold, not fake, not robotic, but calm, grounded, rooted, unshakable. Because when life gets messy, and it will, your calm energy becomes her safety. Now, what does this have to do with making her invest emotionally? Everything. Because when a woman feels safe around you, when your energy is stable, when you don't freak out over small things, when you don't blow up when she's emotional, she starts to trust you with her heart. She opens up more. She shares more. She connects deeper. She invests without even realizing it. And here's the truth. You can't fake calmness. You can't act chill if you're screaming inside. You've got to train your emotions the way warriors train their bodies. Start with this. Next time you feel angry, triggered, or needy, pause. Breathe. Let the fire burn quietly inside you. Then respond like the mountain you are. This is Stoic power. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally strong. So remember, if your mind is calm, your energy is steady, and your soul is rooted deep like a tree, she'll feel like she's found home. Not chaos, not drama, but peace. And that's a feeling women never want to lose. The confidence that silently shakes her world isn't loud at all. What if I told you the loudest guy in the room is usually the most scared? Yep. The one bragging, shouting, showing off his money, his muscles, his followers. He's not confident. He's begging to be seen. He wants people to clap for him so he can feel like he matters. But real confidence, oh man, it's so different, so quiet, so powerful. It walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word. And guess what? That's the kind of confidence women melt for. Here's the truth no one tells you. You don't need flashy clothes. You don't need a six-pack. You don't need to pretend you're rich or smart or famous. You just need to know one thing deep in your soul. I'm enough. Not in a fake way, not in a cheesy way, but in a strong, simple, calm way. Like a lion lying in the grass, not roaring, just resting, because it knows what it is. So how do you build that kind of confidence? Let me break it down. You do hard things, not to impress, but to grow. You keep your promises, even when no one is watching. You show up for yourself every single day, and you stop needing everyone else to clap for you. When you know who you are, when you trust your choices, when you respect yourself, she feels it in how you talk, in how you move, in how you lead without forcing. Women don't fall in love with men who need their approval. They fall for men who already approve of themselves. Because that kind of man, he's rare, he's powerful, he's magnetic. And here's the wild part. When you don't need her love, she starts wanting to give it more. Not because she has to, but because she feels pulled into your gravity. So remember this. The strongest confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. It just is. And when you own that energy, you don't just attract her attention. You capture her soul. On the next chapter, we'll bring it all together and reveal the final missing piece that turns you into the man she emotionally invests in, craves, respects, and never forgets. The secret ingredient that turns detachment into deep connection. Wait. What if I told you the real secret isn't just about stepping back or being calm? It's about something nobody talks about. But it changes everything. This secret is like a spark in the dark. It's invisible but felt so strongly, it pulls her heart closer without you even trying. Here's the deal. You can be calm. You can be confident. You can have your own life, your own purpose. But if you don't show her your real self, she won't truly invest. No tricks, no games, just honest truth. See, detachment isn't about being distant or cold. It's about being free inside. So free that you don't need to hide your real feelings. You don't have to pretend to be tough or perfect. You just let her see the real you, the man who feels deeply but stays steady. That kind of honesty, It's rare. It's powerful. It breaks down walls she didn't even know she had. When she feels your realness, she feels safe enough to open up, to invest her heart. Because deep down, women crave connection that's real, not forced or fake. And here's the magic twist. The more detached you are from needing her approval, the more you actually invite her in. Sounds strange, right? But when you don't cling, she feels the space to want you more. When you don't try too hard, she tries harder to reach you. So the final secret step to make her emotionally invest is this. Let her see your heart without losing your freedom. Be steady, be calm, be real, and watch how she starts to lean in. Not because you begged, not because you chased, but because you showed her the rarest thing of all. A man who is completely himself and doesn't need anything from her to feel whole. That's the power of true detachment. That's how you make her want to invest in you, while you stay free, strong, and unshakable. Now you hold the keys. Use them wisely, and live a life where she chooses you, again and again, because you're a man who knows his worth, quietly, powerfully, forever.